Howdy do, everybody. It is Bird Dance Friday. Ominous in the background. There's thunder and lightning happening all over the place. Little spits of sunshine. We just can't get a good clear day around here. It's just crazy. So hey, lawn's looking pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. I was requested for me to show just some pictures, so here you go. Here's where we started the year when I came home from Israel. After the snow melted and everything else, it was in pretty bad shape, matted, broken grass. I decided I would burn the lawn, and that is now 8 weeks ago. 8 weeks ago, going from roughly when I came home to look at it, maybe a little less, about 7 weeks ago. So here's where we are now. Shining. It's doing pretty well. If you just heard a sound that was like a high-pitched beep, I don't know if you did. I've never said this before, but I'm going to. You can just comment on that. Put that in the comments that yes, you heard a high-pitched beep. Let's talk about that for a second. So this little guy is my new best friend right here. Now I can hear it here. There's a very, very high-pitched sound coming out of it, and it's a motion sensor. That's what this thing is here. It's got an infrared eye and then these sort of sonic projectors, and it's solar powered. So that thing right there is kicking the little vermin off the grass, and it's actually working. Now sometimes one can sneak in and it doesn't see it, but if another one tries to join, it fires off this high-pitched thing and they go running, and so it's actually helping. This is new. I've only had it for a couple of days, but it's already making a difference. I do have to keep moving it because those little shits, I'll bleep that out, they dug in to go behind it. Like, man, because they're smarter than you give them credit for. So anyway, it is working. So areas that were affected, like where I am right now, this was pretty cut down. It's just coming back. Okay, this is just coming back. But so you can see here where they chewed down. This is one of their spots. This over here, this is an area. So they're still getting through it. So I've kind of split the lawn up like half and half. So I'll turn it once I drive them away from here, and we'll start working on that back section, because you can see they're still coming in from behind the sensor and doing damage. See that? So while I have this like super thick and fairly short grass right now, they are wreaking havoc on it. So that's what this is going to be about still. The topic of today's video: don't panic. There's no such thing as a lawn emergency. I've seen more people hurt their lawns by over-loving them than by doing nothing at all. So I want that to be the message that everybody gets today. Ease up a little bit, relax. Number one, it's just a lawn. I get it. It's not a reflection of your personality. You don't have to think that just because you have a brown spot, the world is ending. So let's talk about a brown spot for a second. This is my brown spot. It's not really my friend, but it is a brown spot. This is new. It's a very new addition to my lawn. I'm gonna tell you why. Last week, I sprayed some weeds. Right here. And look, they're smoked. Okay? That stuff worked incredibly well. Great, good job. Hooray for weed control. But like I said, I don't really have weeds in my lawn, so I don't really have any reason to do it. If you go back and look at that video talking about the T-zone, I showed myself spraying in that area right up here, right? Like up in that garbage. And I set the camera down. In order for me to do that, I also set that chameleon down on the ground. Well, guess what? I was right here. It was right here, And the reason this showed up is because it tipped over. It tipped over, it was laying here, and I set the tripod up right here to shine back up on the hill. So it tipped and it spilled out. Should I freak out about it? No. Yeah, wait, let's see this. Look at that. It's almost exactly the same as my foot, but it's not from my foot because I didn't do that. So what am I gonna do about this? Do I need to panic? Should I freak out? Probably. Everybody's gonna get so upset that this is in the lawn, but I'm not really all that worried about it. Now, here's what I'm going to do today. Hello, brown spot. I'm gonna go grab my shovel and I'm gonna cut that thing. Just cut out a little bit, and I'm gonna go grab some turf from the other side over here that's kind of behind the slide and where the kids play, and I'm just gonna drop it in its place. And then I am going to maybe run my little crappy mower over the top of it, and then I'm gonna feed this thing because it's time. Believe it or not, even though the turf looks like this, it's time. It's time to go ahead and feed because it's been almost 6 or 7 weeks. It's been a while. So today I'm actually gonna do it with 402 because that was another request that was sent in to me, is why don't you just see what it looks like when you run 402 on the lawn? Well, let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna be gone for a week, and then we can come back and assess what everything looks like. Now, in a video earlier this week, I said I wasn't gonna mow. I just couldn't help it. I wanted to because it looks so freaking good, all cut down. So I did it anyway. So I apologize for all you people who are really excited about me not mowing, but I didn't. So I'm gonna cut this out real quick, and you know what? Let's go grab a shovel and take a look at something. Some good looking roots, but I tore a lot. Let's just look down inside here and see. If you keep on digging, look at this nice soil, isn't that beautiful? You can see where my roots are still going down. I just kind of had to rip them out to get in there. I'm just gonna look right down this edge here. They just keep going and going and going. Pretty cool. But now, check out the tops here. Look how tight this grass is. But I don't really have any thatch to speak of. See, I've got good soil contact right here. And the grass is super, super thick. It's tight, tight. And you can see how everything's growing, which is what's helping me get this like 1-inch cut happening. So let's go plug this in onto the other one real quick. Look at that. Man, I'm sorry, that's just super sexy. So many roots driving into the rock. I mean, there's a ton of rock under here. So, that was a pretty good guess. Pretty good, pretty good. Let's go ahead and fill some of this in. Get some of that out of there. Look at those roots, man. Yeah, that's interesting. A piece of 2x4. Fill it in, fill it in. Break apart roots and fill it in. Yeah, I'll put a little more under there. Yeah. All right. And do that. Now, I ripped apart that front flower bed with a bobcat the other day, and I've actually got some soil down in the yard that I can go grab and fill this in a little bit. So I'll probably do that. Maybe I'll do that right now. Maybe I'll do it in a little while. Not really too worried about it, but look at that. Nice aggregated topsoil clinging to the roots. There's another little guy right there. Let's put this, let's get him down in here. Him, her, who knows? I don't know. Does it matter with worms? I'm just gonna break that up. Let that fill back in. Water it, this stuff will start to disappear. You can see how much actually like gravel and stuff I've got down in there too. I think people think that, you know, it must absolutely be good, like great shape under here, but it's a combo. You know, this is what makes up soil. Rock, organic matter, got these earthworms, all these little guys doing work. Don't panic. Don't panic. Fixable. Simple. I'm gonna go put this dead one, shove it back down into the ground on this other side. I'm just gonna let it sit. See, it's right there. You can see it, you know, slightly different color. It's fine. It's not gonna take very long before that looks just like the rest of this here. Thick and green. Nah, it's starting to rain. Okay, so let's talk about this area. That was one of the worst areas damaged by the rodents. They ate it all the way down, and then I put some seed in there as well, and it's coming up all through that section. I actually moved the disc golf basket up there to give it a little extra shade, which made me think of something. If I want that to grow back in, I'm gonna be gone. I'm not gonna be able to manage it very well. What am I gonna do? So exposed soil is one of the worst enemies of lawns. It cooks, and that's one of the reasons why this ground squirrel thing is such a problem, because they strip down the grass to the nubs, right? And this gets heated up and it cooks the rest of the grass around it. So this grass is working really hard to keep itself safe from the heat that gets generated when the sun gets on this stuff. So the sun baking down on the bare ground is that's a bad thing for us. So I got a little burlap. I'm gonna roll some burlap out across this whole thing back here, cover that area up, and let it be like that while I'm gone. So that'll create a shading effect. It'll also create somewhat of a moisture lock. So if there's seed and stuff trying to grow in there, it'll have a better chance. So I'm gonna lay that down all across here, and it's gonna stay fairly wet most of the time. The sprinklers will do good duty while I'm gone, taking care of this and keep everything wet. So the seed and the grass underneath will get enough light because the burlap is porous, right? And we're gonna cover that to keep it cool. So I guess I might as well do that right now too. Okay, on to the feeding. I'm actually gonna go spray right over the top of that thing right there and actually hope that the flora green I use kind of sticks in it. You never know, you know, it might encourage the grass to grow up in it. I've never tried that. It just seems like it made sense while I was laying it all out. So I'm gonna go ahead and bust out a quick app here real quick. And yeah, then let's see what else there is to talk about. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and run, what should we do with the flora green? We could do 16 ounces. That would be fun. Maybe I go less, 12, 12 and 6 for 18 for 1,500 square feet. Why not? Let's do that. 18 ounces. Let's check that out, just see how that goes out here. Now, you guys, that was awesome. Man, I was looking at the measuring portion and not at where I was pouring it. 16, there we go, 18. Doesn't seem like very much now, does it? It's because it's not. It's not a whole lot. So we're gonna put that in there, a little 402. Why am I using 402? Only because somebody said use 402. Reality though, 402 is good sauce. Small amount of nitrogen, yeah, for sure. Loads of minors, humic, kelp, everything you do. And if you have this, if you bought it for your trees and shrubs, and you want to give your lawn a little supplemental kick, why not? What's wrong with that? You know, people seem to think that there's a fertilizer for each individual thing. Like, well, it doesn't say anything about grass. It doesn't say anything about trees. It doesn't do this. You know, when you look at a fertilizer, you're looking at NPK. NPK. NPK is NPK. So if you've got anything that says, well, it's not for turf use. Well, of course, it's a fertilizer. Turf takes fertilizer. And if it has any sort of NPK rating, well, congratulations, you can use it. So don't be afraid of that. Plant food's plant food's plant food, plant food. Okay? Doesn't really make a difference. So use what you want to use. Low analysis, high analysis, put it out. Make sure you feed on a schedule. You know, the whole thing about this is about a program. It's about building consistency into your feeding schedule. If you want to do something every week, do something every week, but make sure you're not loading. One of the biggest things I get, like hands down, emails from people saying, so I put this and 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 this down. Now what do? Go have a beer. Relax. Chill out. At some point you're going to overload so much that your lawn doesn't know which way to go. You can spark off fungus. You can put the grass into distress where, you know, every type of leaf-eating predator wants to come after it. If you think you have a dead spot like that, oh my God, I got fungus. No, it's just relax, man. It's probably something else. People go to fungus first. Okay, let's talk about watering in for a second. And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna get sprayed on. This is gonna be fantastic. What a wonderful thing. It's hot, actually. Kind of feels sticky. I don't know how it's like this in the desert. I always water in. You know what? Water in, don't water in. Take your pick. But I'm gonna tell you something. The grass looks like this for a reason. And it's not because I'm out here, oh, here it comes. Oh, this is good. Yeah. Let's wipe that off. I always water in. I just do it. It's automatic for me to just make sure that I'm pushing everything down into the ground. But you say, well, hey, aren't there foliar nutrients in there? Yeah, sure, there are. And I'm already putting it out with water anyway. It's getting diluted. You know, you're getting material that's going to push down into the ground and change the color. Here it comes again. Oh, that's good. So I always water it in. 10 minutes, plenty. But I want to get that burlap watered down too. I want that to be soaked here because it's going to be functioning as a shade cloth, as protection of that seed. I have a feeling those damn rodents are going to try to get in there. There was a fresh hole right under the disc golf basket. Those guys. But anyway, this is working. It's working pretty well because I don't know if you remember, this side right here was scalped down to nothing. So it is working. And you know, that was my secret thing that I was waiting for a long time. I was going to do this big long montage about like all of the stuff that I've done, the chili powder, garlic powder, ginger, castor oil, rotten egg yolks. You know, I got some stuff guaranteed to get rid of ground squirrels. Well, let me tell you something. You could take that guarantee and just shove it where the sun doesn't shine, because that didn't work at all. This has been the best. So I should have ordered a couple more. I just wanted to see how they worked. I got this thing, I don't know, it came from China. It was like 15 bucks. But I was more concerned with it about my dogs being affected and have them, you know, like freak out every time it came on. And they might, I know they hear it because sometimes they kind of perk up whenever it goes off. But it hasn't really prevented them from being up here. And I don't really want, that was my biggest concern is my animals in that situation. The kids can hear it, but who cares about them? So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and water this in. That's what's gonna happen here. So now we're watering, and I think it's important. Oh, there it is again. So, moral of the story, stuff happens in the lawn. At some point, you're just gonna have to be okay with it. Don't just think, I got to put more fert down. I got to put more fungicide down. I got to put insecticide down. Don't jump to that conclusion immediately. Really take a minute, think about it. Has it been hot? Has it been dry? Have I been running my sprinklers enough? Oh, I was just going to keep getting that on there. That's fun. This is fun. This is fun filming. These things get great coverage. Look how soaked. It's fantastic. Isn't that awesome? So take your time. You know, if you go and look at like what Paul did as far as his drought program, you know, we have not fed our lawns very much. I made a total misstatement the other day on my own where I said I've applied about 2/3 pound of N. I'm not there. In fact, I'm less than a half a pound right now, maybe 3/8. I was thinking with a nap of 1801, I was going to be going over a pound, but I'm still not there yet. I've only put out 27 ounces of 1801 this year, so I'm at like 3/8 of a pound plus this tiny little bit of 402, which is going to be negligible. So I'm still not at half a pound per thousand. I'm 8 weeks into the growing season. It is 1 week to the official start date of summer, and here's where it is. So, measured approach, working with the weather. You guys have seen what I've done. I've thrown d-Thatch on it. I've thrown aerate to it. I've thrown RGS on it. I've done some microgreen to it, and I've done 1801. Those are the things that I've done. And actually, for the last while, I haven't really done much of anything because it didn't need anything. I wanted to because, you know, it's good content, like showing some of this stuff the way it is, but how do you make stuff look better than best? Better than best. Anyway, I'm gonna get hosed again right now. Here it comes. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I will probably talk to you guys after I get back from Florida. So, see ya.